work. We have been doing it, but the way you said, we'll surely follow it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now we move upon to our next guest. I'm profoundly very happy to introduce our next guest, Srimati Uma Reddy. Uma Reddy, she's a Managing Director, Messrs. Hitech Magnetics and Electronics Private Limited, Promoter Director, We Connect International India, Founder President, Emerge, Engineering Manufacturer, Entrepreneurs, Resource Group. Ms. Uma Reddy, an electrical engineer, is MD, a first generation technocrat entrepreneur, manufactures custom-built transformers, coils, inductors, electronic sub-assemblies, cable harness, etc. She has been on policy-making bodies of both state and central government as council member of Prime Minister's Council for Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises. Madam has presented many papers in entrepreneurship development at OECD Paris, CIPE USA, CDG Johannesburg, China, Spain, Germany, Vietnam, Philippines, etc. And has been a resource person for programs of APO, Asian Productivity Organization, Tokyo. Madam has been a member of evaluation missions of UNDP and has organized many programs and seminars. Her company won the Performance Award as Best Supplier from GE Medical Systems Kirloskar, ABB Safety Award, etc. Madam has also won a National Award for Women Entrepreneurs 2001 and has received the Rajyotsava Award in 2005 for her contributions to the society. Madam, actually, this is what I could get. I think there are more about you. I would just like to add, I saw your video. It was your speech on SME. The most inspiring words that you gave over there is, to become a successful woman or to become an entrepreneur, you should have that passion and the fire in the belly. These words have really, really impressed me. Thank you, madam. I would like you to please give up the opportunity what our Kalyana Karnataka girls have to come up and develop this area, contribute towards the development of this area. Over to you, madam. Uma Reddy, madam, please.
Thank you, Uma. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. You are audible, very clear.
Thank you. Thank you, Uma. Love the way you've been anchoring this whole event. So congratulations and up to you. It's an honor and a privilege. Thank you, Bharti, for inviting me on this. Both Bharti and Sarva called me and asked me, and with Madam Ratnaprabha as our keynote speaker, she set the tone for this entire program. A special thank you to Dr. Konda, the principal of your college, who took the initiative of organizing this. And we also had Madam Jyotsna, the DC of Kalburgi, who actually spoke of Kalyan Karnataka and spoke about all the various challenges and, you know, how we as women need to overcome them. And I really think she also set the larger tone and the larger vision for the women of Kalyan Karnataka. I would like to also recognize, I've seen a lot of friends while I was going through the many delegates that you have, Bharti. It's been a great leadership role. I see over 400 delegates in this event. So, you know, thumbs up to you. And more importantly, the presence of many of our fellow association leaders, women leaders. I can see Rati Srinivasan, I can see Priya Puranik, I see Ratnaprabha Patil. I'm sure there are many more that I just can't run through the whole list of the over 400 that have registered for this event. I also see the presence of the president of HKCCI, Mr. Amarnath Patil, the immediate past president. So it's really nice to see so many friends, and that's what it's all about, networking, you know, so that's where the networks begin. So it's a joy to see this and to be able to be part of this and talk and share thoughts, and in the process also learn. Also see the presence of Sujata Patil. She was there with us when we all went to Brno, a trade fair in Brno. I recollect a few years ago when, all of us went together and participated in a trade fair in the Czech Republic, and it was a great coming together. And now, after so many years, we are here again on a platform when Mr. S.S. Patil was the president of FKCCI, the Federation of Karnataka Chamber of Commerce, we had a women entrepreneurs program in Kalburgi, in Gulbarga, as we called it then. And we had a very large women entrepreneurs conference. I was glad to be part of it as FKCCI Women Entrepreneurs Chairman. We had a very big event in Kalburgi. But now, you know, things have changed so much from then to now. We have now moved on to a mechanism where we're on a virtual platform. So, you know, many things can happen, but, you know, things change. But we always land up that we are able to find a mechanism to find a solution. And we get about 400 delegates after so many years together on a virtual platform. So kudos to the whole team of women and women entrepreneurs and the women leaders who are part of this event, that we are able to do that. And why do we able to do that? Because largely because we are all entrepreneurial.
Madam, you are not audible. Uma Reddy, madam, I think there's some network issue.
ಇದು ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಯಾಕೆ ಬರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಯಾಕೆ ಬರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ವಿಡಿಯೋ
We'll just wait for a few minutes. I think she's reconnecting.
ಇಲ್ಲ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಬರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ತದ್ರೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ.
Actually, Uma Reddy madam told earlier only she is in Dodballapur, so maybe she is facing some network issues.
Yeah, that's what I
ಅವ್ರದ್ದು
think.
ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಅವರೇ ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ಯಾರ.
Bharti, what shall can you call madam once, Bharti? I know when it comes to the technical platform, there will always be some issues. As madam is out of Bangalore, she is in a remote area, there might be some network issue. She had informed us this earlier also. So we'll be waiting for her. Shall we continue? Yeah. Okay. Shall we continue with Apurva, and later on when madam feels comfortable, let her join. Is it okay, Bharti?
Yeah, it's okay. I think we can continue with
until she gets a good net connection and she gets connected. Let's continue with Apurva. Sir, is it okay?
Sir. Madam, just to make a call to her, madam.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that would be better.
Yeah, I'm calling.
Yes.
I called Uma Reddy madam. She said that she is trying to connect. Let us wait for just 2 minutes.
Yeah. Sure. Sarvamangala, no problem. We'll wait for her. We'll wait for
just
madam.
2 minutes, because just I've taken her on phone call. She said she's trying to connect.
Sure. We'll surely wait for her.
I think she's back, Uma Reddy madam.
Yeah, she is back. Madam, you have to unmute yourself. Uma Reddy madam. Yeah.
I'm sorry about this, but
no
the
issue.
signal
No
seems to
issue
be
at
bad.
all,
I
madam.
don't know what happened. So I just kind of moved out. Let's see. So I was just kind of trying to say the importance of being entrepreneurial. Quite often when we talk about all these various characteristics of women, when we talked about women entrepreneurs in particular, we talked about planning, goal setting, taking a calculated risk. We talk about it as if these are characteristics that are needed for only an entrepreneur. But to be honest, every human being, whether it's a man, woman, doesn't matter, we all need these characteristics to be successful. Though we might depict it as only for being for women entrepreneurs or for entrepreneurs per se, these are characteristics that are required for anybody. And so I would say that these are characteristics for being entrepreneurial, and that is for everybody. And so we not necessarily, limited to only being entrepreneurs, and especially women entrepreneurs. So when we say, I think this would be applicable to every student who is here. Whether you work, whether you run a business, and whatever that we do, we need to have all these characteristics. It may not necessarily be in the sum to achieve in as part of your objective to share just 3 points, because I know you're going to be limited on time. So I'm just going to talk about 3 very important points, which I believe are very important to be successful. And the first one I would say is networking. Why would I talk about networking? Networking because we as women, and I'm again then talking about women per se, we as women tend to kind of limit our networking skills. We are not part of the old boys clubs where we go out, meet people in the evening. We have a lot of social commitments. DC madam also mentioned about it, and in order to do so, we don't get into being part of many networks, and that definitely is as an important need. Madam Ratnababa mentioned about Ubuntu, and Ubuntu is an association of associations. But what's nearer to every student here is being part of groups. You're already probably being part of your student groups, but you also need to be part of other groups which are necessary for your growth. The first one I would say is an organization which is closest to you is KLAMP. I know KLAMP is specifically for women entrepreneurs, right? But then there's no harm for you to be part of this network, where you would also get information about things which you may not need today, but you may have a need in the future. So I always believe that networking is a place where you get a contact, you keep that contact, and you maintain that contact. You have to sustain your contacts. And in this day and age, when you have social media, when you have digital platforms, it becomes much easier for us to maintain these contacts. Let me talk about my own story very quickly so that you'll be able to connect with how, I believe in networking. So I started my business when I was in my final year of engineering. I don't come from a business family. None of you as students, I'm sure, were not even born when I started my business. This was in 1984 when I was in my final year of engineering. And it was not a digital era. It was an analog era. We had no computers. At least we had no personal computers in 80s. And I had what was called holidays after semesters. We finished our exams early and I had my holidays. So I don't know what to do during my holidays. I had to wait for college to reopen with the other semester exams had to finish. So I knew an uncle who was doing printed circuit board designing. So I went to him and I said, I want to learn some of your work. So he taught me how to do the design and I did the design for him. He paid me for having done the design. He taught me and I learned and I did it. And this was just basically the printed circuit boards. Those who you would have seen in every electronic product, there is a more or less a green PCB with a lot of components, which is there in practically every electronic product. So I went and learned how to do the designing of that. And I did that and I gave it to him. He paid me some 600 rupees or so for one design. 2 designs, I got 1,200. I went and bought some dress like every student does. And then came back and I said, okay, he's getting paid 2,000 rupees. I got paid only 1,200 for it, or 600 rupees. So what can I do? I can do the design myself, give it to the customer myself and get the 2,000. It was just a simple thought. So I went to Bharat Electronics. It was a big company, a public sector unit. Those days we hardly had any MNCs of that kind. So went to him, they were the customer, and they said, you have to have a company. To be honest, those days we had no idea about registration process. We had no Google uncle or auntie to teach us, how to go about it. So information was power. So well, because of them, I went and incidentally the Department of Industries and Commerce was in Nrupatanga Road, which is just next to my college, UVCE. So I went in, day out to get my license to start my business. And it was just a simple thought that I went. And it took me 9 months because those days license was given in Delhi. So it had to go to Delhi and I had to come back for me to get a license to start my business. Now you can just go to www.dcmsme.gov.in or msme.gov.in and you click on Udyam, and you within, I think, even a few minutes, you get your registration, the Udyam registration done. And it's as simple as that, a click of a button now. Well, anyway, so I started my business, started with printed circuit board designing. I was doing it for Bharat Electronics. I went, I had to buy drafting tables. I went to my parents and they said, I went to the bank. They said I had to give collateral security. I had to go to my parents to get some property of theirs to be given as collateral security. So my mother said, no, this girl will get married and go away. What will happen? We'll be left with the loan and the business. So she did not really encourage me, but my dad supported me. I could convince her, and finally I started my business buying drafting tables with the fund that I got from the bank. And I continued to do with thing. I got a job in Kirloskar after I finished my engineering, decided against it, and went across to continue my business, but couldn't do only PCB designing. I needed to grow. So even Uma mentioned, scalability, growth, very important. Why? Because that's the way you grow your business. You need to be relevant. And in electronics, especially, product life cycles are very, very short. We've seen how, technology has changed it. So moved on to doing printed circuit board assembly. My customer was very happy with me. So, continued to do other things for them, moved on to doing electronic equipments and sub-assemblies, then continued to increase my customer portfolio, had more and more customers. So BHEL got to know about it. I was doing for them. I was doing for Baba Atomic Research Center. So to cut the story short, I moved on from printed circuit board to cable harnesses to many products, and then moved on to manufacturing of transformers and coils in the 90s. And was glad to actually develop the talker coil for the 18 talker coils for the 9 satellites that were launched by ISRO 4 years ago. We had that order, we developed it for them, and we manufactured it for them in their own clean room facility. So, it's been a journey of sorts of being relevant. So you have to keep on being adept at looking at what else is new, what are the trends that are required. So if I had to do all this, in 1990, I received an award from AWAKE, the Association of Women Entrepreneurs of Karnataka. I'm sure many of you know of AWAKE, has been a pioneer association of women entrepreneurs in the state and in the country. And when I received that award from the then president, Ms. Madhura Chhatrapati, she said, you know how to run a business. Can you share your expertise and help another woman set up an enterprise? And that sounded nice. At the beginning of your career, when you don't have cash flows, you don't have money to give away for charity, yet you want to do something for the larger women or larger community of women. I felt that this was nice, that I only had to give my time for about 2.5 hours every Thursday, once a month on a Thursday. So I went and we started what is called business counseling. Now we call it mentoring, right? So we started then, and it's also nice that I connect with what Uma also mentioned about you have every Thursday earn while you learn. So something like that, we had every Thursday business counseling, and it was just word of mouth. Those days, again, without social media, it was just word of mouth, but people would get to know and they would come. And we would share our expertise of how to set up an enterprise with other women. And it's just that talking, it makes you feel good when somebody else does something. So, and more importantly, from there, you connect. So somebody wants to come and set up an enterprise in food processing. Then we had a member, we had Padma Seshadri, who used to run a hotel industry. So I would connect her, that lady to Padma or anybody for that matter. She would then meet her in her company and would share about how she does her business. All entrepreneurs probably will not share the trade secrets, but they would actually help in telling them where to go for registration, what kind of license you need to take, where do you go for power, You shouldn't get a back bill in power when you set up an enterprise. So that means you should apply for commercial tariff. All this was information that was not available. Even now, you might say that there is a lot of information available, but it's very difficult to go through these information. So there's too much of information. You need to get the right kind of information that is relevant to you. And for this, associations play a very, very important role. So whether it's KLAM, whether it's HKCCI, the Chamber of Commerce and Industry in the district, or the State Chamber of Commerce and Industry, it's very important that every student builds up your networking skills and you know who is the right organization. If it is to do with your sector, then you need to go with the textiles department, the textiles ministry. If it is to do with food processing, then it's the food processing department. So it's very important that networking skills are actually begun from school, college days, and then built upwards. And that's why I say that my phone carries about 12,000 contacts to date, because now Google allows only 12,000 contacts. And with it, there is every time a note about how I met that person. Because, you know, in your life cycle, it's sometimes very difficult to remember after 3 decades. I've been in business for over 3 decades, and it's very difficult to remember where you met them. It's very important that you make those notes down as to where you met that person. And when when you go and when you meet the person somewhere, it becomes very easy that you're able to start saying, sir, I met you on this day at this event. And then your first authentication is done. It becomes much faster for you to make a connect and move forward. So networking is such a big skill. Like even ma'am Ratnaprabha was saying, no, when she was going to Jabalpur, she met 2 students and how they connected with her and they remembered her from their school days and told her about how successful they have been now. So it's very important that we are able to keep those networking skills. So please make sure that you join these associations. And now KLAMP is a member of Ubuntu. So Ubuntu is an association of associations. So where there is policy making issues, where there is a policy that is coming out, Ubuntu will play a lead role in being able to represent all the women entrepreneur associations points to government, be it the state or be it the central. So we have members who are across not only Karnataka, Andhra, Madhya Pradesh, North India. All these associations are members. And the larger thought process in this is that we are then going to be able to connect with each other. So I mentioned about 12,000 members that we have, indirect members in a way. All these 12,000 members, if we start buying from each other, just imagine how big this B2B platform can be. And if we then add to this 12,000, each of our networks, like I say, if I have 12,000 contacts, each of you even have 500 to 1,000 contacts whom you add on. Just imagine the large platform that we can build and have a B2B business. And from it comes a lot of authentication. So one, I think very important is building our networking skills. And the second very important is technology. Like I again bring in relevance back from my own story where, if I continue to do PCB designing manually, I wouldn't be talking to you all today. If I continue to do only PCB assembly, I wouldn't be talking to you all today, because product life cycles are short. And all of you are aware how, telecommunication network has totally changed. So it's also very important that women entrepreneurs, especially in the district, it's a huge opportunity for you to leverage and grow, because suddenly you don't have to sell your products or services to your neighborhood, to your stores around to be sent to somewhere. You're there on an online platform. And there are so many online platforms on which you can sell. So you can directly sell internationally, you can directly sell nationally, you can directly sell to your neighbor. It's very interesting that, I met an entrepreneur who said, Madam, I put up all my products online, and little did I know that my neighbor who just stays, a street away, actually ordered the product online, and she did not know of, that I had this products with me. So it's as simple as that distances just close or distance miles away becomes only a click of a button. And Ubuntu, we had, along with KLAMP and along with Veda and along with all the associations, we had this event where with Amazon, where we could train the women to put up their products online. So there was a series of training programs, and there are many training programs that are coming ahead also. We have the Wiki Life Skills training program that is being held from July 10th. It's a series of 3 training programs, which is needed for everybody during this pandemic times. It helps you build your life skills. So I talked about technology, I talked about networking. I just have a last point on internship. And I think since these are students, and I always believe that I need to talk about internship, very important, because we really need to build the bridge the industry institution gap. The industry institution gap is not as small as it should be. If you go to Germany and you go to countries like Germany, a student cannot get into a technology course until they've enrolled with an industry. So I strongly believe that students should take every opportunity, especially during holidays, be it a weekend. You know, you can have a series of weekends where you can spend some time in a small enterprise. Don't always look for a large multinational for you to do your internship. Do it in a small enterprise. You do it in a small enterprise, you learn everything. You learn about sourcing, you learn about manufacturing, you learn about inventory control, you learn about finance, you'll know about customers. You know everything about a small enterprise. And there are a lot of skills that you can pick up, not only product skills or service skills, but you'll also pick up soft skills. You'll get to know about how your communication skills. You learn many skills. So especially students, I believe that my entrepreneurial career actually started thanks to that little internship, which I never knew that word internship in those days, that I took up in a small enterprise, and I went to learn PCB designing. But now you have a great opportunity to learn with small enterprises, but do it professionally. Go to them, set your goals, tell them that this is what I want to do and this is what I want to achieve at the end of it, which will benefit not only me as a student, but it will benefit you as a small enterprise. That means you will give a proper report, which will help the proprietor, the partner, the director of that company to utilize it, implement it, and say, hey, whatever report that you gave me was very useful for me. That means you need to create that kind of professional. You don't want small enterprises to tell students, no, we don't want you, because it shouldn't be as if it's their time wasted. It should be a win-win for both the student and the small enterprise. So I think you should make every opportunity. Even Madam Ratnava mentioned that go on an exposure visit to enterprises. Go to an enterprise which has not been successful, which has gone through very difficult times during this pandemic. Brainstorm with them, give them ideas. Students, you have a lot of ideas, and we Indians are very good in providing advice. Give those advice. It's for the entrepreneur to take it, leave it. You may come across a challenge which you think can be an opportunity for that small enterprise to diversify and sustain during these pandemic times. It can be a business which you feel this can be useful for them. Link, network, provide the tech tools. You all are very good in social media. So use those social media platforms for you to grow your own business, complete your college, and probably that company will, you can join them as a director, you could join them as a partner, or you could yourself diversify and set up an enterprise. I think opportunities, and that's the topic, are galore. It's for you to take it. With these few words, let me end with a small quote which says, you see things as they are and ask why. And this was what George Bernard Shaw said. You see things as they are and ask why. But I, as an entrepreneur, dream of things that never were and ask why not. And it's that why not when you ask can make you successful. So thank you very much for this opportunity to share a few thoughts with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, madam, so much. I would like to add one more thing over here. Of course, we had earn while you learn. When it was offline, we would have all these things. But since last year, it's a lockdown and so it's all online. So before that, I had just from my department, management department, I had organized a workshop on digital marketing. So it ended on 11th of March and immediately 12th and 13th, the lockdown started. And I was surprised to know that in the month of April, 4 of my students just messaged me that, Madam, we have started our online business. Please, can you help? They were on the digital marketing. And what I feel is the younger generations are very, very talented. And we have Madam Ratnaprabha and Madam Uma Reddy. So you all have associations, Madam. We teach about awake in our syllabus. It's a part of the syllabus for women entrepreneurship subject. So while studying all these things, is there any option for students to be a part of that association or something like that? Because when they are young, when they are still learning, we can promote them so that further they can grow it very fast.
So there is another organization which I founded called Emerge, which is an association for women in technology, profession, business and services. And in Emerge, we accept students as our network members. They cannot take on the role of being part of the managing committee, but they can be network members. So and it's an online form, it's a free form. They just need to visit emergeindia.org and fill up that application form, and they get to know all the activities of Emerge. They're part of the networking group, and they can participate in every activity of the organization. So other than being part of the managing committee, they have every option. So they can be there. And Emerge is also a member of Ubuntu. So whatever activities that are happening on Ubuntu are also shared with all the associations. So whether it's Emerge, Awake, we're all part of another Ubuntu WhatsApp group. So there are many, many WhatsApp groups that are there. For anybody to learn, I don't think there is any challenge anymore. The opportunities are huge. There is another program, and since there are students, I thought I should mention it. I also sit as the director and chair of Innovation and Technology Committee of FKCCI, the Federation of Karnataka Chambers of Commerce and Industry, and we have a program called Manthan. I'm not so sure if any of the students have participated in Manthan, which is a business plan presentation competition among students. And every year there is a cash prize of 3 lakhs that is given away. Not only a cash prize for the students who win the competition, but there is a series of knowledge workshops. And this year's is already over. We are in the second knowledge workshop already. But this has been going on for the past 13 years. So, every year there is an opportunity, and if you're already not part of it, then, as a college, please ensure that next year your students can take part in it, because it's a great opportunity for students who want to set up enterprises. As ma'am said, not all students will become entrepreneurs, but here are opportunities. And more importantly, I think Bharti Patil can share about our Wiki Life Skills program, which is starting on July 10th. We only have another 25 slots available. And I'm sure students who would like to participate in this can still do. So, and if not that, there are a series of many, many workshops that happen. And it all depends on sharing of information. Ma'am, you want to say something more?
Yeah, I just wanted to add from what you said. Since Bharti Patil and Sarvamangla are here in this meeting, they can, since KLAMP is just a new organization, they can think of having some sort of another wing of the KLAMP, which can be, meant for the students who want to be future entrepreneurs. As you said, what you have in Emerge. So the local girls who are into, food and technology and things like that, agri products, we can give them an option. They can either join Emerge, or even KLAMP can have one small section for women entrepreneurs, because it will be easier for people of Gulbarga to go and meet them.
Absolutely, ma'am.
Yeah? So Bharti and Sarvamangla, think of it, having one section dealing with women, aspiring women entrepreneurs. Okay, so they can come and discuss. They can interact with all of you. We can think of that.
Yes,
No, I was also
You can
thinking
do it on
since
your
Rati
website
and
itself.
Priya
Yes.
are on the are here. After the last speaker speaks, if they are also given 2 minutes as to how they grew,
Yeah.
it may ring a bell because they are closer home. How they sort of swam through the life and made it big as women entrepreneurs. If there is a time, or maybe later
Yeah.
on in other sessions they can talk.
No, sir.
Okay, that
No,
is
ma'am.
left to the organizers anyway.
We'll be very happy, very fortunate to have everyone over here.
Time is running short. I don't know.
And madam, thank you. I just gave my opinion, and you thought of an subgroup of KLAM. I'm very happy. It will be very helpful for this Kalyana Karnataka students. Thank you so much. And Uma Reddy madam, thank you so much for those valuable words. Surely, for anything, will not leave you. Will be behind you. We'll be asking for.
We'll be happy to be part of it. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Ma'am.
Yes. Questionnaire session will be later. You can ask the questions later, I think. Now we have Miss Apurva Bajaj. I'm very, very proud to introduce before you the youngest industrialist of Namma Kalburgi, Miss Apurva Bajaj. Apurva, an electrical and electronics engineer from PESIT, Bangalore, worked as research and development engineer in TVS Motors in Bangalore for 2 years. Later, young Apurva quit her job, came back with an aim to contribute her knowledge towards the development of her own hometown, Kalburgi. Don't think of development of our own home, then how will outsiders think of the development of our home? With this idea, she stepped towards the industrialization of Kalburgi. Ms. Apurva, we are very happy to have you over here, and that was a very matured thought. And this is what every young generation, the talented Kalburgian or the Kalyana Karnataka people should have, because we are developing many graduates. They study over here and they go back to the metros. They are very attracted with the lifestyle of the metros, or they go out of India